Our SEMA team, all the way from the top down, wanted to have a companion to the Heritage. When you look at it, you can see the Heritage tail lights through the wing on the back, through the horsepower upgrades that we gained. Just really make it that same car. Now for this year's 2020 SEMA Show, we're making an homage to the Heritage Edition that we built last year by building a Sport Top Edition Supra. The removable roof is something that was available in the Mark IV, so we thought we'd see how it'd look on the Mark V concept. When the roof is off, there will be no bar down the center. It will be a completely open top. See, with this curvature here, we'll have to put a piece in, another piece in here, and then it'll come straight down onto something we build here. Our hope is that it's with a remote, boom, pop it, it'll pop the bear claw latches or whatever kind of latches we end up ultimately using. And the reason we're doing it in two pieces is so that we can make storage for those two pieces in the trunk of the car. When it comes to SEMA, you're usually one and done. But we had no idea we were gonna do a second Heritage Edition. This is one time where it would have been nice to scan all the parts and have everything laid out so that we could just basically send the files over to somebody and say, reproduce this.
Biggest thing too was to keep the flow and the shape of the car as natural as possible. The back line, we wanted to keep it up with this rear quarter window, come off of that so it kind of gives it the same look.
This piece right here is a body molding, and it's going to be important that we keep that. When we make the roof out of composite, these two pieces should stay original, and this piece will have something built into it to keep the flow again. We will need to build way more structure into the bottom of the car because it won't have the roof to hold it and contain it as a box when you're driving without the roof on it. That piece up there in the headliner is pretty important, and we're gonna do what we can to keep that piece into it. The goodies, the aero stuff on it all the way back, you can just see the corner of the diffuser there, the Heritage wing. No matter how much you prepare and do everything, it's still the last month always turns into a grind. It's our goal to do something more and more crazy every single year. We do these extra mile things that make it really cool. We've made a little bit of headway on the Sport Top Heritage Supra. As I said before, Rich was going to work on making the diffuser a little bit more efficient. He not only did that, but he also made it a little bit more OE quality, having the time to think about the things that he wanted to improve off the last one. We also have the flow coming from the bottom of the car onto it, smoothed out a little bit. The exhaust is well on its way. The downpipe is in. The location of the pipes coming out the back are also in place now. Here's the diffuser. As you can see, it's completely hand-built. 2-in-1, all stainless. Center exhaust over there. The subtleties is what you'd notice the most if you put both cars by each other. There's just little improvements in this, and then there's way more repeatability also. We were worried with not having a roof in it, it could fold right here. So we went all the way back to the back of the tub there, all the way up into the engine bay here. From underneath on a lift with all the stock panels in, you shouldn't even be able to know that anything happened here. We've also done a lot of conceptualizing on where to cut the roof. Way more complicated than we thought in the beginning. The day we cut the roof off this thing is the day we can't turn back.
So cutting a roof off a car is not uncommon in what we do, but usually we're putting it back stock the way it was. We're not worried about it. Cutting a car and making it something it wasn't is not something that we've done. So it's gonna be very interesting, like I said, to be a part of this, cut the top off and see what happens. I think we're all a little on edge to know what is gonna happen when it happens.
We brought the Supra up to the shop yesterday, get it all prepped, get everything ready because today is kind of red letter day.
Steel was a little harder to cut through than I expected. We tried with an air saw first. We got nowhere real fast.
We were 20, 30 minutes into it and it only moved the line about 1 inch. And I'm like, oh no, this is going to be a lot harder than we both thought it was going to be. The fact that he reacted the way he did and said, all right, let's try something different. I love that. I love working with people like that who aren't so locked into their box. 10 minutes later, we're halfway done.
I think it's an iconic thing for the car to have a removable hardtop. So I think the first one to cut the top off, to bring it to surgery, put it under the knife, I'm pretty honored to be a part of that.
Really happy with the way the lines were cut on it. We still have a lot of cleanup left to do on it. Obviously, it's a work in progress, but man, oh man, it feels good to be able to actually see what it's going to look like in 3D instead of on a rendering. I'll probably sleep tonight. Been stressing a lot about this with regard to cutting out a huge part of the structure of the car. I hope that everybody else loves it as much as I do already. To use a baseball analogy, we're in the 7th inning stretch right now. We just got it back from paint, so this is where we are right now. We honestly thought in the beginning that we would be cutting the top out and then using that same top as a piece to fill the gap. When we cut it off, we realized that that wasn't going to work. It's just not meant to be put back together again. And as it turned out, we ended up 3D printing it.
We received these panels. The one showed up, had kind of a couple cracks in it and stuff, so we had to fix those. We're in the middle of fixing this one and also fitting them to the car. Go. It's seated pretty good. I mean, it's close to about 3/16 of an inch or so to get that thing to come in and really be happy with where the overall fitment, I think, is.
Now we have to start thinking about latches. How they look is almost as important as how they work.
Yeah, we'll do a pin or a latch somewhere on this side. And then up here, we're thinking about maybe doing something where it's a slip fit with a little clamp device. That one we're kind of still working on.
We took the color of the seats, the color of the interior panel right here, and matched it to the mirror covers. It just makes it a fun little thing that brings the inside of the car to the outside of the car. So we just use it really sparingly. You can see the car behind me, and it looks like it's miles off. Everything has been test fitted. It's gonna look like a completely different animal once we get the wheels, tires, brakes, suspension. Last piece of the puzzle will be painting the roofs, and then we'll have a sport top.